Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Bar. We're back with another video, and it's been a long time. So yeah, this will be a cricket video, and we'll talk about India versus England, the Test series. Last time we discussed about the World Test Championship, and most of our predictions were correct,
Mm.
except for the team that could win. That is what we got wrong. But other than that, most of the things which we said were correct. So and moving on to this series, I think we should talk about the first test and the second test
Mm.
separately. I thought we could like literally just talk about both the teams, but I think we should separate the two tests. Even though in both the tests, the Indian team had an upper hand over the English team, but there are a few points in which the Indian team needs improvements, and we'll discuss those points in details. And other than that, we'll also talk about the problems this English team is facing, and we'll discuss the probable solutions to that too.
So yeah, we'll first start with the what we can say the first test, that was the Nottingham Tennis test. And the first thing that that came to mind, we all saw the conditions. What were the conditions? It was overcast, slightly overcast, and the pitch had a bit of greenery on it. Although it was some patches, it was on some patches, not throughout the pitch, but some patches on it. But still, it was good, decent, bowling conditions. But still, Joe Root won the toss, and I don't know how he decided to choose to bat first on that surface. And this is not the Indian side, which toured in 2014, when we had only one or two fast bowlers, who could take what you can say advantage of those situations. But now we have we have four pacers. We had Shadul Thakur, we had Ishan Sharma, we had no not Ishan Sharma, we had Mohammad Shami, we had Jasprit Bumrah, and we had Mohammad Siraj. All four of them, who are capable of what you can say bowling, attacking. Then
Uprooting the other batsmen.
yes, and in those conditions, he decided to he bat first, and I was pretty much surprised, and that totally backfired him. Backfired, 183 all out. I mean, in their backyard, first test match, you have to. Most of the team, like to set the tones. Most of the batsmen like to set the tone for the first test match. If you get that momentum early in the series, then probably that can affect their morale as well. But coming on to bat first, 183, getting out cheaply, probably getting out in two sessions as well. That was a bad decision for me. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I did not watch the game very closely, but yeah, I somewhat agree to you. England could have chosen to bowl first, and yeah, and they could have asked the Indian team to, uh, defend the total, and that could have made things easier for the English side, but that did not happen. And yeah, like you said, the team is very much dependent on Joe Root. If he does not perform, then the other batsmen just topple under the pressure, and that is actually a matter of concern for both the English fans and the English players. And I'm sure Joe Root's back must be hurting because he's been carrying the team since a long time now. So yeah, talking about Joe Root, he did really well. He does, he gets his special out against India every time he plays against us. So he scored a 50 in the first innings, a 100 in the second innings, set a target of like 200 for the Indian team. That could have been a tricky chase,
Hmm.
but the Indian batsmen settled. KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, they did a good job, especially KL Rahul, who was back in the test format after a long time. He wasn't even considered as an opener coming into this series, but Shubman Gill had to go back to India, and this guy
Mayank Agarwal.
got hurt due to the short ball from Mohammad Siraj, and the stars aligned for KL Rahul. And I have to say he grabbed this opportunity with both the hands. He scored 84 in the first Test match, and he scored 100 in the second Test match. Of course, we'll come
Hmm.
on to the second Test match later. So he was absolutely fantastic even in the first Test match. So yeah, the Indian team did well in the second innings. Joe Root carried his team like he always does. They set a target, was a tricky total. Indian batsmen did well, but then the rain gods had other plans on day five, and it was a complete washout. The Indian team needed only 150 odd runs in
Hmm.
90 overs. That was an easy job. That could have happened, and yeah, it was India's game to lose, and that is what happened. It was a draw, but I'm sure the Indian fans, the Indian players, they all
Hmm.
feel that they just kind of lost the game even though it was a draw. And apart from that, we all should know that Indian team and the English team, they had 2 points reduced due to
Hmm.
the slow over
Slow
rate.
was it?
To be honest, I don't think slow over rate should matter a lot in Test cricket, especially when there's a big washout that happened. Situations like that, I think it should just cover itself up. And yeah, I mean, I don't really understand this slow over rate thing. So yeah, that was the first test.
Do you think it could prove a problem for India because we got 1 point less because of that? I think so. It was against slow rate. I don't know.
One straight.
No. In the world, I'm talking about the ODI Super Series. Test we got 2 points deducted. In the ODI Super Series, I think so. We were playing. I think so. In the first or the second ODI, we got a fine for slow rate, and we had 1 point deducted. This could prove a problem when it comes down to the crunch. Because these are just silly points to lose. These are your hard-earned points, and you are losing it just like that. Because of some reason. This could probably prove fatal for us, and probably Virat Kohli should look into it. And you talked about the opening as well. The KR Rahul got an opportunity, but how big of a role Rohit Sharma has played since he has come on to bat. He played in Australia, and we got some decent openings, not that higher, 100 plus partnership, but we got 60 plus partnership. We got that one again in the World Test Championship in the first innings. We got 60 odd runs partnership for between him and Rohit Sharma. And again, in this Nottingham test as well as the lost test, we got 97 runs and an 100% partnership in these two test match. How big of what you can say impact that Rohit Sharma had put in this team, especially in the opening category, because we were struggling a lot in overseas. In India we used to bat well, but in the overseas we used to struggle a lot. And how much a big impact this is for the Indian team as well as for Rohit Sharma himself.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about Rohit Sharma, but first, like you mentioned about the slow rate,
Mm,
I'll talk about that first. And you mentioned, and you were wondering if that this could,
mm,
hamper the Team India's chances into the World Test Championship final. And the answer is definitely
mm,
yes. This time it is the percentage system.
mm,
So after the washout, we anyway lost a lot of points, a lot of percentage of points we lost after the first test. And since this is a 5 game test series,
mm,
uh, and it's not like Team India might actually go on and clean sweep the series. That
mm,
is very difficult. That might actually happen, but it's very difficult to say something like that happening. So each and every game is more important than the other. So winning points is important, and if you're losing silly points here after losing a lot of points due to
mm,
rain, I think that might hamper. A lot depends on what the other teams do too, because the rules are
mm,
same for everyone. The other teams might also lose, so that might square things up.
mm,
But yeah, that might hamper us later in the stage. But we shall see. The final is in 2023,
mm,
so we have a lot of time. We can win a lot of games by then, and we might make sure we are into the final. So yeah, apart from that, and yeah, like you were talking about Rohit Sharma, so you know uh, the opener's job is not only just to
mm,
score big hundreds, it's also to just let the new ball go and make things easier for the batsmen that are to follow. So Rohit Sharma is doing the second part very
mm,
nicely. you know he's playing those 60 70 balls. One opener playing
mm,
70 balls means the game is around 25 to 30 overs, so that already makes things for the batsmen coming down. It makes things easy for Virat Kohli, it makes things easy for Ajinkya Rahane. So
mm,
yeah, he's doing that job pretty well. All he has to do is stay patient. When he's been thrown that short ball,
mm,
he should control his instincts, because it's very simple for him. Just put a fielder down in the deep, and
mm,
then you bowl him a short ball. He'll fall into that trap 10 on 10 times. He might also hit a six, but test cricket it's different. The boundaries are longer. So, and I'm wondering, why do you even need to take such risk?
mm,
So he should, just stay patient, control his instincts. So apart from that, he's done a really good job. 84 runs in the second test match, they were, you know, worth gold. Just because KL Rahul scored a century, that does not mean we should forget
mm,
Rohit Sharma's contribution, because India's score was about 120 and Rohit Sharma was batting at 84.
mm,
So, he was scoring the bulk of runs. He was making things easier for KL Rahul too. So, yeah, okay, Rohit's performances are great, and they are valuable. And I think he's done that opener's job well. He might score 100 or two in this coming series, but even if he does not, and he does the second job, like I mentioned, the
mm.
second job well, that would work too. So, yeah.
So as you said, Rohit, he did a lot of work easier for KL Rahul as well, because in the first innings KL Rahul was batting at 19 or 20. Was He scored 19 or 20 runs, and he took 100 balls. If Rohit Sharma could have not played his hand, big hand in that partnership, he would have probably not scored a
Mhm.
century. Would have been under pressure. And as you said, KL Rahul has grabbed his opportunity very well, and he's one to look forward to as well. But in the second innings, we'll talk about second innings now. We'll going down the order. We'll talk about second innings. Ajinkya Rahane and Pujara. We were all criticizing about them. Pujara getting out because of that late swing, and I don't know. We don't get a chance to make a video, but I was thinking, Pujara, this will be what you can say, a big test for Pujara, because I don't see him scoring 50 plus runs more than twice in the innings. I just don't see him, because he always like gets out on that late swing, where, because he comes onto the line of the ball, he watches the ball, he plays it very late. But once that lateral movements begin, when the ball goes past the bat and it's still moving, once that comes into play, it's where Pujara gets out quite often. And this is what happened, with Jimmy Anderson, he got out, with Ollie Robinson, he got out. And how big of that innings, we're playing two, at least, not runs wise, but playing 200 balls in that conditions, against this England lineup, and all too in the adverse conditions. So now how big of that challenge, and how would he feel, and now he has 9 to 10 days break. So how good it would have been for him, to play 200 balls and not get out.
You have to give credit to Ajinkya Rahane as well in this, because he held one
Mm,
end on the other side,
mm,
and that really helped Cheteshwar Pujara. He knew that things had become difficult. India had scored only
mm,
364. Initially, we all thought that the score was okay, but like you said, that
mm,
total was never a good total on that sort of pitch, and the English batsmen proved you right.
mm,
So yeah, England nearly scored about 400 runs, and India lost their wickets in a very quick manner. So it was important for both of these batsmen to just stay on the crease. At that point of time, I'm not sure if Team India was even thinking about victory. They just
mm,
wanted to play those number of balls, and yeah, you have to give credit where it's due. Both Pujara and Rahane, they did well, and like you
mm,
mentioned, Pujara, he's got that experience. He knows what to do at
mm,
conditions like that. He did that in Australia twice, and he just had to repeat what he did there
mm,
in England here. And even though conditions and all were very different, he did that job really well. He played those 200
mm,
balls, scored those 45 runs. Just forget about the runs, the
mm,
number of balls that he played. That was more important on situation like that. Even Ajinkya Rahane,
mm,
those 61 runs he scored, they were better than any other half century that he's scored
mm,
in his life till now. So yeah, credit to Ajinkya Rahane as well.
mm,
We can say that Ajinkya Rahane is back in form. And after Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane got out, it was difficult for the Indian batsmen. I saw Akash Chopra's video,
mm,
and he predicted that the team India will get all out in the first 20 overs.
mm,
And I was like, he's true, because we
mm,
lost our main batsman, and all the English bowlers had to do was clean up the day. But that's when Joe Root's silly tactics
mm,
come into play. We all know something had happened between Butler and
mm,
Jasprit Bumrah. So maybe these English bowlers wanted to test Indian tail with those bouncers, and
mm,
that is where Joe Root got his tactics wrong. All he had to do was pitch the ball up, and the Indian tail would have just surrendered. They would
mm,
have given their wicket away just like this. But they started bowling those short balls, and they put those fielders
mm,
away, and it was just very easy for the Indian batsmen to just stay. Even if they had to take those blows after
mm,
20-25 balls, they were well set, and it was always going to be easy
mm,
for anyone to score after like playing those
mm,
20-25 balls. And with the kind of field placement Joe Root had, their job had become even more easier.
mm,
And that is where Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah, they come into play. They grabbed that opportunity with both their hands, and they did a very fine job. Those 56 runs which Shami scored were better than uh,
mm,
like a lot of innings played by any other batsman, and he made sure England had a tough job in the fourth innings. And of course, chasing 272 in 60 odd overs is never an easy
mm.
job. The Indian bowlers did well, and it was India's game at the end of the day. So yeah.
I wanted to talk about that day five fiasco and all that later, before we got to point. But now I will get into that day five thing. Again, the spat you talk about Butler and you said Bumrah, but it was before that. It was Bumrah who bowled Anderson 12 or 13 balls in an over. Where he bowled 12 no balls, n number of no balls to Jamie Anderson, and he was quite angry with him. And that was the main thing, that they wanted to do that to the Indian bowlers, and that was the main reason why. And again, you got your their main players, bowling while bowling at the good length or maybe full length outside option. Why are you trying such silly things? Because Bumrah is not going to take those blows. Bumrah is not Anderson. We all know Bumrah can at least bat, at least hit those ball. Not like Anderson who's trying to just defend. And Shami as well. We have all seen Shami hit some shots, although he fails most of the time. But we have seen him play shots. These type of guys. It would have been okay if they had bowled to Ishan Sharma, because Ishan Sharma is not well equipped to play some shot, play pull and other shots. But this Shami and Bumrah, they are experienced, and I think it was a silly decision by Joe Root again,
Exactly.
just like the toss on the second test, batting pitch
I
choose to
mean,
bowl.
it was just the English ego coming into play.
Mm,
They thought if they could test the Indian bowlers with the bouncers, they could just push them into the back foot. But they did not have to do that. They just
mm,
had to pitch the ball up. And like I said, Indian tail is among the worst
mm,
batsmen in the entire cricketing world. They would have given their wicket just away. But just to spice things up, or to just avenge all that
mm,
happened between Butler and Bumrah. It was just very silly, and it was just Joe Root's egos that was speaking. It was just a very silly tactic. I mean, even club level
mm,
players understand what to do against tail ender batsmen. Such Indian tail
mm,
ender batsmen, just to pitch above, and everything would have been fine. England could have won this game. It was England's game to
mm,
lose, and it it just made things difficult for the English
mm,
batsmen later after in the game. So he needs to understand that now.
mm,
He's played over
mm,
100 Test matches, and this is something very silly, not expected from
mm,
a captain like Joe Root. He should just stick to cricket. If that's
mm.
happened, you leave that
Don't.
there. You concentrate on what you can
Mm,
do right now.
mm.
You have to win the game, and that is the best answer. That is the best
Mm.
revenge. But he had different plans, and they backfired.
Yeah, basically, don't take things personally. What happened on the cricket pitch. What happened yesterday. Leave it to yesterday. New day, today is a new day, and start a new work. And as you said, day five, it was completely in England's hand. 160. We had 150, 160 odd runs lead, and they got Rishabh Pant out pretty early. And I thought, man, 200 would be, if this three batsmen, Ishan Sharma, Bumrah, and Siraj and Shami, if all of this could at least manage to get at least 200 or 210, probably we could have a fighting chance. But they did more than that, as you said. They Shami scored 50, which I think so. Was one of the beautiful innings that I've ever seen. Probably better than Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar's probably, given the context of the match that we were in. So that was probably one of the best innings that I've seen. And Bumrah too, he was playing those straight drives. I don't remember any, other than Sachin Tendulkar, seeing anyone play those straight drives straighter than what do you say. Uh, I think so. He played two straight drives, and both of them hit the stumps. He was playing it so straight. So that was an unique thing to see. Number 10 batsman playing the straight dive and the cover dives. So yeah, it was England's game to lose, and they lost it completely. So we will move on to the next point. That is the pace battle. The quad pace battle that we have. They did a fantastic job, as we all know. They got England out in 50 overs in the final day. And before the test started, everyone was questioning, man, this is a very good batting surface. It is hard pitch. It will get crashed after day 4, day 5. Why have you not picked Ashwin in the team? He can bat as well. You could have probably gone with the three seamers, but that decision was proved correct, as we all saw in the last day. All the pace bowlers taking the wickets. Siraj got 4, Bumrah got 3, Ishan got 2, Shami got 1. So how what you can say. I'm not going to ask you whether the decision to play four pace battles was a right or wrong decision, but what would have been the thinking behind the decision to leave someone like Ashwin out of the turn, out of the second test. First test I can agree because there were patches of greenery on the pitch, but in the second test, it was a batting pitch. As I said, I said it multiple times that it's a batsman pitch. It's a batsman pitch. There's nothing much for the bowlers. How big of a decision was it? To leave someone like Ashwin behind?
Not only Ashwin,
Mm,
even Jadeja bowled only 6 overs
mm,
on on that day five pitch. So yeah, I think the decision to pick four fast bowlers and to leave Ashwin out and you play Mohammad Siraj instead of him, or maybe Ishan Sharma for that matter of fact,
mm,
was a very correct decision from Virat Kohli's point of view. I'm really not sure what he was thinking about and how did
mm,
he figure that out. I'm sure Ravi Shastri and the other team management must have helped him,
mm,
but that decision was very spot on. Like, see, to be honest,
mm,
just because we won, I am saying that that
mm,
decision was right. So
mm,
if had we lost, maybe I could have said, why did he leave Ashwin out?
mm,
And so it's not about the 11 that you pick; it's about what that 11 does on the pitch.
mm,
So no matter what team you choose, if they do well, then no matter what sort of decision you've taken, it's a right decision.
mm,
So I think that is the answer to your question. I'm not sure if I could answer it the other way.
mm.
So yeah,
So we will move on to England now, and as you said early, that Joe Root is the only thing that is holding this England batting order. What has been the problem, because this English team, they were also, you can say, the originators of the Test cricket. They were the one who founded this game, and now they are struggling, in this format. They are doing well in the other formats. They are bringing in the 100 as well. I saw some of the 15 minutes highlights of the 100 games, and I was seeing that every batsman was coming in and hitting the shots. We also saw England C ODI team, clean sweeping Pakistan,
doing well against Pakistan.
Pakistan clean sweeping, not doing well, clean sweeping Pakistan, 3-0. So what has been the problem with the Test team?
It's
I sent a post to you that Kevin Peterson said that they should make franchise for Test cricket as well.
prioritize Test cricket.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. You know, when in 2011 England this English team lost to Bangladesh
Hmm.
in the in the World Cup, and
2015.
then again in
Okay.
2015 they
Hmm.
lost to Bangladesh. So it was twice that it happened that they lost to such a team.
Hmm.
So after failing to qualify in the knockout stage in 2015, the English board decided to prioritize white ball cricket over
Hmm.
any other format, because at that time it was important. And
Hmm.
to talk about the English Test team back in 2000, that time 2011-12, that time the English Test team in 2011 was the number one Test team in the world.
Hmm.
They won the Ashes in 2013. Kevin Peterson and all these guys were still in the team. Andrew Strauss was their captain, I think, till 2012. And all these guys, and since Alistair Cook
Hmm.
was he was hitting his prime, so everything was so good in the Test team that they did not really have to worry about
Hmm.
that, so they could concentrate on their ODI side.
Hmm.
So now what has happened over the period of time, all their players have faded away, they retired, they
Hmm.
grew old, they reached their peak age and
Hmm.
all that happened. So now this English team is going through transition.
Hmm.
So it's really important for this English team to find those players who
Hmm.
are very promising, and who are young, and who could you know just like play like Joe Root in
Hmm.
upcoming years. That's what they would hope for. And Alistair Cook retired in 2018 and they still haven't found a
Hmm.
replacement. They tried many other openers and most of them failed. They played Jordan Leaf also. They they played a lot of players and they haven't found a lot of success. Daniel Lawrence and all these guys, they
Hmm.
look good, but only time will tell how good they are. At this moment, not a very experienced side, and they are struggling a lot. So
Hmm.
yeah, they should now prioritize Test cricket because their ODI team is doing well. They could just keep that away, and if they focus on Test cricket, I'm sure by the time the next World Test Championship starts, England might be the favorite contenders. So yeah.
Because why they should focus on test content as well, because they have an Ashes to play in Australia in the month of December. They still have to play 3 matches over here, but Ashes is a big thing, that they don't want to lose. And they are probably playing in Australia. Australia are also struggling as well, but I think they are okay in that sense. And as you said, this 2011 England Test side, that they also defeated us 2-1 in the Test series, in our home Test series.
Home
They,
series also.
yes. So I think they have just become Joe Root and Inshallah in batting, and probably they are probably relevant. I think they are relevant in the test game because of their bowlers, Anderson and Paul. just because of both of them, they are relevant in the that we are talking about England as a top team, that can probably qualify the final, just because of the two of them. Do you think they might struggle in the bowling department as well? I know they have a lot of good quickies, like they have Mark Wood, they have Chris Wokes, they have Sam Curran, Tom Curran as well, who are upcoming in the ranks. But do you think after
Mhm.
Broad and Anderson, they might struggle in the bowling as well?
Uh, See, to be honest, Anderson will might probably retire in an year or two,
Mm,
but Stuart Broad might hang in there.
mm,
He's gonna be in the team for around a while. So till the time Stuart Broad is there, along with Jofra Archer, of course, Archer is injury prone. If he takes care of it, he'll be there. Mark Wood is doing really well in the Test format too. So
mm,
I don't think English bowlers mm, might, the bowling
mm,
department might not suffer, at least not in for the next 5 years. After that, I cannot tell, but for the next
mm,
5 years, I think the bowling unit is sorted. They just have to sort out their batting, and when they do that, I think English team will be the contenders for the Test Championship again. And coming to Australia, they'll be playing the Ashes series, but
mm,
I'm sure this English team is targeting the next home Ashes series.
mm,
They're looking forward to win that, because realistically thinking, the Ashes in Australia are going to be very difficult.
mm,
Like you said, Australia is struggling as well, but that's because they are playing a very
mm.
different team. The original Australian, the first choice Australian team is still very good, and
Mm.
they will really trouble this English team. I'm predicting 5-0 in favor of
Mm.
Australia. So yeah.
That's a early prediction of Ashes from us. The second last question that I would like to talk about is I should talk about Indian pitches, Indian Test pitches, because I just had this thing going in my mind. We love the Australia series because the Sydney Test went to day five, the Gabba Test went to day five, and India won that on day five. I'm liking this England series, up till now, because the 10 bit the Nottingham Test match, the 10 bit one, went for the 5 days. This one also, went to the fifth day, went to the last hour of the day, last half an hour of the day. So I can, we can say that these pitches are what you can say properly, what you can say good for Test cricket, not good, excellent for Test cricket, because they are having something for batsmen and something for bowler as well. Do you think
Uh,
Indian creators should learn from this, or you could probably take example of this? Because
See,
I hated the India England Test match. Even though we won 3-1, I hated it. I hated completely. Test matches were ending in 2 or 3 days, and all the fun was lost. Even though India was winning all the fun of Test match, watching the Test match for 3, 2, 4, at least kind of completed Test match, all that was lost. And I did not watch much of that India England tour of India, but this Test match I'm hooked to it. I'm watching it, 3:30 p.m. I'm turning on my laptop while I'm working. I'm watching the Test matches. When I go out to hang out in the hall, I'm watching the Test matches till 11:30. We all are watching the Test matches because those are interesting. But Indian Test match, I certainly feel that probably it's boring, because Indian spinners are going to take those wickets, and it's probably going to end in 3 days. So do you think something should be done about Indian pitches as well?
uh, I like your question, but the answer is no, because the thing is, uh, the other batsmen, they just surrender when they have to play the Indian spinners. They really struggle. So if anything has to be done, it has to be, the batsmen, the foreign batsmen, they have to learn how to play spin.
Mm,
And we know that this English batsman, they just got out to the Indian bowlers, but Ashwin went on to
mm,
score a century
mm,
in that Chennai Test match. He showed the Englishman how to bat on that pitch. So it does not have anything to do with the pitch. Even in the Ahmedabad Test, most of the wickets which they fell on the straight ball.
mm,
So it's just that the inability of these batsmen to play spin. They are just blaming it onto the pitch.
mm,
You remember that Test
mm,
match in Pune.
mm,
That pitch was horrible. Of course, it was just dust. It was
mm,
turning square from day one. But Steve Smith batted in such a way, and he showed
mm,
that that is how you must bat on
mm,
a turning pitch. Of course, not all the pitches in India are like that one in Pune.
mm,
They make good pitches in India too. It's The pitches in India are really good for batting for the
mm,
first 2.5 to 3 days.
mm,
So I think if the game goes till then the game goes till day 5 in India also.
mm,
But since these batsmen just give away their wickets to spinners in the later half of the
Mm,
game. In the third day, in the fourth day, that is
mm,
when things happen. Other if if they learn how to bat against spin properly, then even in India the games could go on to at least in the second session of
mm,
day five, because the only reason why it does not happen is because they get all out in
mm,
day four.
mm,
If they don't, then the game would, of course, it would go on for a long time. So no, I don't really think we should blame it on the Indian pitches. It has to be the batsmen who have to cope. So yeah, like also
mm,
Indian batsmen, they do well in Indian pitches.
mm.
So what is the excuse?
Okay, so we should probably not think about the pitches, and the batsman should learn how to play against the spin. That I too agree with you
Like,
on that
see,
context.
at an extent, I agree
Mm,
that sometimes
mm,
pitch can be bad. Like I
mm,
said, that Pune pitch was really horrible.
mm,
It was just dust. It was just turning this much
mm,
from day one. Maybe not that bad. Sometimes the pitches in West Indies, they are also
mm,
horrible. They have so many cracks.
mm,
That time you cannot expect the batsman to learn, because you do
mm,
not know what to
mm,
do. Sometimes the pitch might be very damp, and even that time the batsman might not know. So I'm not talking about those pitches. I'm talking about normal pitches where there's turn, where there's
mm.
space. That is time when batsman skill comes into play. So yeah.
So yeah, the last question of the video. What do you think about the performance in the third, fourth, fifth test match? What do you expect from Indian team? Because the Nottingham test we were close to winning it, but the rain foiled all the attempts. Lot test we what you can say, we completely overturned that test match, in a space of what you can say, in a space of one session, just because of Shami and Bumrah's brilliance. So, do you think India will carry this momentum, or are we expected to see the same thing that happened in 2014?
See, honestly, uh, I had predicted two all in this test series. I had predicted two games for India,
Mm,
two games for England. But I think that was before Jofra Archer
mm,
was injured.
mm,
But the way this team has played in the first two tests, they have raised the bar
mm,
really high. Uh, we can absolutely expect them to go on and clean sweep the series as well. Of course,
mm,
it is very
mm,
difficult. That might not actually happen, but of course, fans can actually
mm,
expect that, and the team is really doing so well that they can actually do that. So yeah, the expectations of this team are very high, and I'm sure they'll hope to continue their performances. And if Virat Kohli
mm,
comes back in form, I think that would uh, just
mm,
be the cherry on the top of the cake,
mm,
because everyone has been doing well and Virat Kohli is struggling with form, and I'm sure Virat Kohli knows about it too. He'll work on that,
mm.
and we shall see uh, even better performance than what we did in the
Mm.
second test match. So yeah, I'm really excited for this test series ahead.
I wanted to ask you about Virat Kohli, because K. Rahul is scoring, Rohit Sharma is scoring, Ajinkya Rahane and Pooja scored. What is the problem with Virat Kohli? And as you said, he probably come back, and I think so. It is the same problem that he faced in 2014. That uncertainty corridor, that area he has to work on, and he will probably work on. We all know how great of a player he is, and how hard worker he is. He's what you can say, his hero idol is Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's definitely not going to miss out scoring big in this in the remaining three matches. And for my prediction, I predicted it before, what you can say, after the World Test Championship. I thought hard, very hard, and about the Indian batting and Indian bowling as well. I probably thought Indian bowling could probably do well, just like they did in 2018. It was just the Indian batsman who lost us that test series 4-1, and I thought probably it was going to happen the same thing. I predicted 3-1 to England, or 2-1 if they played a heavy part, then 2-1. But after seeing England batting performances and our batting performance as well, because we played 4 innings, but I would not consider that second innings of the Nottingham Test. We played 3 innings and we came close to we all almost we cost 300 in two of them, and we could have easily scored 300 plus in the lot second innings as well. And so I'm now pretty confident in the batting skill as well, and bowling, as you all know, how they got what they are doing. So probably, so now I'm now predicting that we might win this test series, and I might go wrong with the scores, but I think 2-1 to in India. I think one more test is going to get washed out, and England is going to win one, and India is going to win one, and we are going to win this series 2-1. If one of the if again if the rain does not come, then we might probably win it 3-1. But I see England winning one of the test, at least one of the three, and but India is overall winning the series now, I think. So yeah, that's it. That's what we have on the today's video.
I'd like to
Mm,
add one point.
mm,
You said Virat Kohli is struggling from, and
mm,
yeah, it's true. But if you monitor his
mm,
performances, you'll see that whenever he has scored, he has looked in control.
mm,
You talk about those
mm,
44 runs in the final against New Zealand, or if you talk
mm,
about those 72 runs which he scored against England in the first test,
mm,
back in the month of February, March. So he looked very much in control. If you also talk about that 74 he scored in Adelaide,
mm,
we all remember that test
mm,
for what happened in the second innings. But in the first innings, if you see, Virat Kohli
mm,
scored 74 runs
mm,
and he looked very much in control. I hadn't seen Virat Kohli in such control till date. I've
mm,
seen him score those 160 in Adelaide. I've seen those, twin tons in Adelaide. I've
mm,
seen those hundreds in Melbourne. I
mm.
have seen those hundreds in England also in the
Heading.
2018 series, but he looked more in control
Mm,
in that test in Adelaide. That pink ball
mm,
test. He just looked like he could go on and on and on.
mm,
The only way he could have gotten out was if someone
mm,
runs him out, and that is what happened.
mm,
So it's not like he's completely out of touch. When he scores runs, he looks in control. He just has to probably find his confidence or something.
mm,
I'm not sure what, but once he gets going, and I'm really sure he's just gonna go big because he's Virat Kohli, and like you
mm,
said, his idol is Cristiano
mm,
Ronaldo. So he's just like it's just like the calm before
mm,
storm right now. That's what I hope. I'm sure he's gonna be back, and he's gonna be back with bang. Uh, we all know
mm.
what he has done in past. He'll continue to do that in future too. So yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And we all hope Virat Kohli will score big in the upcoming test matches. And yeah, that's it we have from the show. Amma, would you like to end our video?
Yeah, that's what we have
Mm,
for in this video. And yeah, make sure you like,
mm.
share, subscribe, and we'll see you then. Peace out.
Peace out.